Collection Connection. I'm Nate the Great.
Dave Jaggerman Smith.
Okay, we were issued a challenge, or more like a contest. From
a contest, because there's prizes. You know,
yeah, there's prize involved. So
if there wasn't a prize, then it'd be a challenge.
Touche, my friend.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Welcome back, man. Okay, it's from JNGUYE1'S, and he's got 8 questions, and he did a really cool shout out for us on his last video.
And I agree with everything he said about us.
Yeah, so thanks for the shout out, man. So we're going to start the 8-question challenge right now, and it starts off with where are you from? I'm from Long Beach, California, home of Snoop Dogg and Cameron Diaz, and believe it or not, Bob Denver, otherwise known as Gilligan from Gilligan's Island.
I can't beat that. I'm from everywhere, but I live in Anaheim now, so...
From parts unknown.
Yeah, from parts unknown.
Okay, number 2. How long have you been collecting comics and also been on the YouTube community? I started collecting comics in like 1988, and my first YouTube video was a solo deal that I did on April 22nd, 2013.
On
how to make your own retro mutagen ooze. So if you got some turtle stuff out there, you want to make some ooze, check it out. It's my oldest video, but it also has the most views and likes by far.
Me, that question's kind of that question always kind of bugged me. To tell you the truth about like how long have you been collecting comics? It's how do you really define how long you've been collecting comics? You know. Like, is it since I got my first comic book when I was like 4? Was it the first time I actually went out and bought my own comic? Is it since I started collecting seriously and with a goal? Or since I just loved comics?
Well, I mean, I got comics before 88 for myself, but 88 was when I decided to, like, carefully read them.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that's what I took the question.
I'm going to just say I've always collected comics because I've always loved them. How can you not love a comic? You know, if you want to go by when I first collecting with like a goal in mind, I still don't really have a goal in mind, to tell you the truth.
To have the most obscure Stiltman.
Yeah, I mean...
The Armadillo.
Yeah. I mean, you know, of course I'm going after my Ninja Turtle, you know, collection, you know, but... bypass with, you know, first appearance of Tick, with first appearance of Bucky O'Hare, throwing the sketch cover, you know, there isn't really a goal there, except to collect what I love, and I've been doing that since I was 4, you know, with my first, you know, trade paperback of Ninja Turtles.
So around 25 years for you now?
Something like that, yeah.
So it's pushing you back into, what, mid-90s?
89.
89? Wow. 89. So I only got a year on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 13 when I decided to collect. I got really old. I got battered G.I. Joe comics when I was a kid.
I love
playing with G.I. Joe.
I love the old G.I. Joe comics.
We'll talk about G.I. Joe in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. Name 3 YouTubers that inspired us to make videos.
Cali Collectibles.
Cali Collectibles. He's a homie. He's a homie, yeah. He is one of the key members in a collectors group that Dave and I co-founded. And he just put out quality stuff, and he has a really good following. So,
and he actually gave us a lot of tips.
A lot of tips.
So, there's that, too. You know?
Definitely. And then there is Make Havoc. Make Havoc is also one of the co-founders of our collectors group.
And we watched his video and we're like, if this asshole can do it, we can too. Just kidding, Steve.
Yeah, but yeah, it pushed us, you know. And there's a lot of people in our group that really just were like, why don't we just do it, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun to do. And we've really been able to elevate what we've been doing, so it's been cool.
Yeah. I think the last one... Retro Blasting, man.
Retro Blasting. If you have not seen Retro Blasting, you got to check it out.
That's by far one of my favorite shows on YouTube.
I get their alerts. I watch their videos all the time. They do toy restorations, cartoon reviews, and it's mostly really old stuff from the 80s. Talk about Voltron, Star Wars.
Not only that, but it makes you think about the object and the thing that they're reviewing in a different light. Like some of the old G.I. Joe playsets, I never thought of it like the way they present it, you know, and it's really cool.
You know, although he has comic references, and you can see comics in the background on the shows. They don't really touch on comics too much on Retro Blasting, but you know, in the collection connection, we try to be unilateral. You know, we don't. I'd be the first to admit that I'm not an expert on anything. I do this for fun, and I'm not going to sit here and be like I'm the see-all, know-all about any thing.
And I'll be the first to admit that I am.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like any dynamic duo. You know, I can be the Green Hornet and he's Kato, and Kato kicks way more ass than the Green Hornet ever did.
I mean, I don't know. We both know our fair share about everything. No one knows everything about it.
No, that's true.
But you can know everything about the stuff that you love.
You know, and your knowledge is way more, far-reaching than mine is. But the things I'm into, I'm an expert on.
Yeah.
You know, I know about the X-Men. I know about G.I. Joe, and I have a great son who's a co-host who's in bed now, so he's not able to be here tonight. And that's my knowledge.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe and X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was Retro Blasting. Number 4. Shout out to 3 YouTubers who deserve more love. We have got some buddies in our collectors group who have a show called The Comic Cave.
That deserves it.
That deserves it. Comic Cave, they have their weekly poll. They do reviews on comics as well as figures. Just a couple of guys in the garage having a good time, and
I support that. That's really awesome. If you could have a good time with your friends and put something out productive and get recognition for it, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So I think, everyone that loves, that and hates communism should check them out.
Definitely. Damn communists. Okay, let's see. That was Comic Cave. JNGUYE1'S.
Yeah.
He gave us a big shout on his last video, and he doesn't have the biggest fan base, but he's out there and he's pushing it.
Hey, we started with 1, and now what we're at 75.
79, man.
79.
We got 79 fans now.
Yeah.
But of our fans, some of our fans are Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. Matt Hawkins.
Todd Knock.
Yeah.
Norm Ratmond.
Yeah. So we have some pretty big.
Yeah, we got some pretty good fans. Carl
Setter. Oh
man, we forgot Carl. Carl's our biggest fan, probably.
Yeah,
so
definitely, and we're his biggest fans.
Yeah, definitely.
So there we go. Number 3, the Collection Connection. I fully endorse that, but the Collection Connection needs a lot more love, guys.
Oh, seriously though, Make Havoc. He's our buddy Steve, co-founder of our Collector Society.
Now you want to talk about someone that knows his shit. Steve does know his shit.
Knows it. At an elitist level. So
and he's a really good guy. I love him. You love him.
Definitely. And he is not afraid
to say his opinion.
Yeah. He'll call a spade, and got no feelings involved with it. If it's brown and it's got corn in it and peanuts and it smells bad, then it's shit. And Steve will be like, dude, that's shit.
Yeah.
So it's unabashed opinions. Yeah. Okay. Top 3 books I picked up last year. My top 3 is Uncanny X-Men number 4 that I was able to get a signature series CGC'd from Stan Lee.
Nice.
And we're not going to be holding up pictures right now, so I'll just edit one in right now. Okay.
My number 1 would have to be Amazing Spider-Man 46. First appearance of Shocker, which I'm a huge fan of. Talking about horrible villains that are amazing. Yeah,
it's like
it's 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Yeah,
it's like that. Amazing. He was in Superior Foes of Spider-Man, which was an amazing book that was cut off before it should have. Always one of my favorites. I got that signed by Stan Lee and John Romita at 7.0. So I was really happy with that. Here's the picture.
Number 2 for me was G.I. Joe versus Transformers. It's a sketch cover. It's a sketch of Baroness, but she's doing the pose, the classic revival pose. Yes. It's actually this sketch here. You can see in the background, but I'll do a better close-up here for you.
I think I should follow up with a sketch as well. Mine is from Carl Alstetter. Surprise, surprise,
surprise,
right?
Surprise.
It's Animal from the Muppet Show, dressed like Shredder. Got this on Halloween, so it kind of adds to it. Pretty awesome. I love it because no one else would have thought of doing it.
Yeah, and cosplay too.
And Carl knocked it out of the park. You know what I mean?
Home run. We're still waiting for that to come in from CGC,
yeah.
But we have a great picture of it.
And here it is.
Okay, my number 3 is A vs. X #1. It's also a sketch cover, and it is Cable by Clayton Crane. And it's another one you can see right here. Just great. I think he used the Copic markers.
It's also an angle that you don't really see every day.
Yeah, definitely. Great angle. Yeah. But, you know, for close-up purposes, check it out here.
Now, some might, you know, argue that those aren't really comic pickups, but they're a sketch cover.
They're sketch cover.
They have just as much meaning. And from really awesome
they're individually commissioned pieces of art to us that are on our favorite comics.
There's no different than picking up a sketch and picking up a variant. At least in my opinion.
Definitely.
My number 3 is the Raphael micro series. First appearance of Casey Jones.
Casey Jones.
You know, I love it. It's definitely a book you need if you're a Ninja Turtle fan.
Definitely.
And I love it because that's Casey Jones as a fucking psychopath.
So what do you, cartoon-wise, because I haven't followed the comics as in-depth as you have, but cartoon-wise, which is your favorite? The Clint Eastwood Casey Jones, or the new school skinny toothless Casey Jones?
They all kind of have their own personality. The one from
it's so hard to get this guy to commit to an answer.
The one from the 80s cartoon definitely holds a lot more light towards the comic version. Although in the comic version, Casey Jones does kill a kid. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Crazy, huh? So probably the 80s cartoon, because I love that psychopath,
the Dirty Harry,
the insane. You know what I mean? Because there hasn't really been anything really else to represent Casey Jones as being insane. And in the comics, he really kind of was just a nut job. And that's what I like, you know? And who else would hang out with 4 Ninja Turtles? Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
Okay, so let's see. Top 3 haunted books for 2015. Now, we took this a lot of different ways. I mean, there's a lot of books out there that they're holy grails. They're on your list like, oh man, I gotta have that book.
I'm not gonna get a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1.
Yeah, that's what we try to think of. We're like, yeah, I would really love for, you know, a Action Comics #1. You know, that's on my list for 2015. I'm not gonna get a friggin' Action Comics #1 comic.
No.
So I wanted to think about, I really want it, and can I actually get it? Is it going to be attainable for me within my budget?
And it doesn't make sense for us to get it, because, like, with me getting, like, a Hulk 181, yeah, it's cool, but I'm not really into Wolverine, I'm not really into Hulk. Me having it would be a waste of a girl book. You know? You, on the other hand...
Me, on the other hand, I'm a whore.
Yeah.
I want the big, loud, strong, fast, hard, awesome.
But to me, like, you know, my first appearance of Tick would mean a lot more to me than the first appearance of Wolverine. That's just me.
Okay, so with where do we got that?
Be on the back.
Number one for me, really affordable, totally attainable. But I want to get a G.I. Joe #1, and I want to get a signature series
Larry Hama.
from Larry Hama.
Dude, that's one of my goals. Definitely want to get a Hama CDC signature. For me, it'd be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2. I love that book. You know, first appearance of Mousers. You know, I think it would be awesome. It's highly attainable. You know, a couple $100. Get it in good shape. You know, it would definitely be something I would really love to attain.
Definitely. Okay, so you know, my last twos they're grails. They're definitely grails.
But they're attainable grails.
But they're attainable grails for me. In the situation that I've been very blessed for this year, so I think that I'll be having a lot more monetary compensation for the work that I do. So number 2 for me is going to be Hulk 181, first appearance, or the first official appearance of Wolverine.
First full appearance.
First full appearance of Wolverine. I've got a Hulk 180, signed by both Herb Trimpe and Len Wein. But, and even though chronologically it has Wolverine appearing first, it's still counted technically as a cameo.
Yeah.
So to alleviate...
Well, he is on the last panel.
Oh, I know.
So that's an argument that's gonna last
That's
forever.
a different argument for sure. We could probably drop a whole hour-long show on which is because, you know, I'm always going to waffle towards like, oh, which one's the first appearance, the cameo or the other one? Well, it depends on which one I have and which one I want to be worth more.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for me, Hulk 180 is the first appearance because I have that book.
Well, like another example of that, keeping this off track of our actual show, is the first cameo of Thanos and the first actual appearance of Thanos, which is actually the first full appearance is in Logan's Run. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
So, yeah, you know, everyone's gonna go towards that Iron Man issue instead of Logan's Run, and the Iron Man.
What is Logan's Run about? It's not about Logan, is it?
Not that Logan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different Logan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, all these Logans.
It's a popular name.
City in Utah also.
Is it?
Fun fact.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you know there's a Nome, Alaska?
Really?
Yeah.
Is he short? Does he hang out on people's lawns?
Yeah.
Okay, bringing it in.
Okay, so my number 2 would be just a CGC sketch by Kevin Eastman, which is highly attainable, especially with our connections now, right?
Yeah, we got friends in low places, so it helps out. Collection Connections got us connected.
Yeah, so that's highly attainable. Probably gonna still cost quite a bit.
Firstborn son.
Good thing I don't have one. But I could use yours, right? So that's highly attainable, and I would love to have it.
For sure. Good book. Okay, for me, my number 1 for the year, and depending on what condition I can get it in, is really going to vary on whether or not I'm actually able to get it for the year. But it's Uncanny X-Men #1, and it's really, for those of you who know me, I'm putting a complete run together of all the Uncanny X-Men books, as well as key issues and first appearances. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the only book that I don't have that has key first appearances in it. I have every other book, and that'll be another show we'll have coming out soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've got the reprinted version of it with the black border, but that's...
Doesn't really count.
Doesn't really count, so that's going to be it for me. And I know a couple grand, and I could pick up a lower graded copy and maybe signature series it or something while Stan's still, while Stan's still kicking. Post about that. My buddy had they just went to see Stan just this last weekend at Nuke the Fridge, and they were the first ones in line, and J.C. Wise and Jess Altman, shout out to you guys, the first ones in line. So they got to take a free picture with Stan, and that usually costs, I think, between $60 and $80. Yeah. But you know, Stan, he looks in the pictures almost like Movieland Wax Museum. Stan Lee there. It's like, wow, are they weekend at Bernie's? You know, dragging him around with a puppet and stuff. So those of us who are blessed enough to actually meet and see Stan, he's always a cool guy. Got great interaction with the fans, and long live Stan. Hopefully he can bless us with his presence, because he is a real earthly treasure in human form that we're still lucky to have right now.
I think he's a cool guy. Gets a little too much credit for everything, but
yeah, definitely. But anybody else who he would share credit with is dead.
Anyone else that could fight for credit is dead.
So he's the one. He's what we got. And if anything, he was always the best pitchman and spokesman.
Definitely, he elevated
spades.
He elevated.
Other guys might have had more hands on different things. And that's a whole other debate. But he's the pitchman.
He definitely elevated comics to a point where no one else could, and that's where his credit lies. He did create a lot of good stuff, or co-create actually. I wouldn't say create, because everyone else kind of had a hand in it too. But I'm not gonna take anything away from him.
For sure. All right, your number one
is first appearance of Elektra in Daredevil 168. I'm putting together my Daredevil run too. See how it kind of jumps. First Elektra, it's a given. I'd want it, but
that makes sense now. Because I thought when we were compiling this list, I thought you said Electro.
Electro.
And I'm like, isn't Electro, isn't he a Spider-Man villain?
Actually,
no, it's Daredevil.
Actually, Electro made his second appearance in Daredevil #2.
Ah, touche.
Yeah, so... And plus, Spider-Man and Daredevil kind of share a lot of villains. Kingpin first appeared in the
they're running around the rooftops of the same city. You're going to have some villainous crossover, I suppose.
Yeah, and, Daredevil does everything Spider-Man can do, and he does it blind, so technically he's better than Spider-Man.
That's another debate for another show. Okay, so, question 7. Who wins between Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet and Apocalypse?
I'm going to go with Apocalypse because he has an Infinity Gauntlet because he beat the shit out of Thanos and took it from him.
Oh, definitely. And you never said...
Yeah.
You said Thanos doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet. You didn't say anything about Apocalypse having the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, so I say Apocalypse has an Infinity Gauntlet and just beats his ass.
Definitely. And, being a tremendous X-Men fan, I'm a lot more in Dave as well. Yeah. And we're like, we know Thanos is badass, and he's got this Infinity Gauntlet thing, and, he's galactic bad guy cruising through the galaxy and whatnot.
But we thought outside the box, and we beat your question, dude. Okay? So I think we deserve something for that.
Yeah, in and of itself.
Yeah.
We need a prize. Okay, and the last question. A sketch between two characters that we could choose. Who would they be?
Mine's going to go with Serpentor fighting Kermit the Frog.
In normal attire?
Yeah, just Kermit the Frog.
Is he going to have his trench coat on doing interviews? Like, this is Kermit the Frog with Serpentor here.
I don't know. I think that's up to Carl Ostetter, man. He's the creator, man. Co-created Bishop. I think he could figure something out how to work that sketch, man.
Okay, my sketch would be, and I'm taking a silly page out of Dave's book. This is inspired by Dave. Totally my idea, but I was thinking, what could be silly and be a good sketch? Ortho versus Snarf in the battle to the death.
See, if we win, I don't know how this is gonna work. Do we each get to choose one character?
So it's gonna be Serpentor versus Snarf.
That would be, or Orko. Orko versus Kermit the Frog.
It could be a tag team match.
This could work.
Ortho and Kermit versus Serpentor.
Snarf. Snarf could be riding on the air chariot. Please let us win.
That'd be great. Oh, I'd love to see it.
I think we should win just for that.
Just to see.
Because we beat the question and we came up with one of the most ridiculous sketches. That would be so amazing to see actually in fruition.
That's definitely. So, thanks to Carl for participating in this whole thing, because I seen you have a veritable cornucopia of Carl Allstetter sketches you were able to put together. One rivaling my own, which is tough to say. Other than Carl, I don't know that many people out there who have. I mean, anytime I see this guy, I'm like, draw me something, dude. Draw me something.
Yeah, I mean, I got quite a bit, but not Nate bit. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, as far as, and we can probably end it on this tangent because we're kind of getting long-winded. But as far as artists who I support, there's a lot of people out there who are chasing after Ramos and J. Scott Campbell, and all of the hot artists who are charging $500 for a commission. I go to these cons, and I meet these guys, and the people who are just cool.
Yeah.
If you're cool to me, you don't have to be published. You don't have to. You just gotta draw and just be a cool guy to me, and I'm your fan, man.
I think Carl got all those.
Yeah.
Things,
and if I'm your fan, I can have 100 sketches by you, and every time I see you, I'll get another sketch.
I mean, Collection Connection's always been strong supporters of Carl, even before there was a Collection Connection.
Oh, definitely.
I think he's amazing. There's not many people out there that can do what Carl can do, and I think that's someone that needs to be out there, and people need to know about Carl. I said that from the beginning. That's someone that draws with their heart. There's a few others that do too, that need to be out there too, like Danny Silva, Mike Vasquez. A lot of these littler name people, but doing amazing stuff.
So we're going to be doing that a lot this year. We're going to be grabbing some guys that we know personally, and trying to do
artist spotlights.
The artist spotlights, kind of like we did with Carl.
We really want to do more. We want to do more with Carl too.
Absolutely.
Definitely,
I've got a guy named Lachlan lined up for an artist spotlight.
Awesome guy.
I've got to get in touch with him. He's off Facebook now, but Jesse Tovez.
Yeah.
Jesse Tovez.
Yeah.
I've got him lined up.
He actually left me a comment on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's still on Instagram?
Yeah, he left it about my dad, so.
Okay.
I thought that was like one of the coolest things is Carl and Jesse and Mike and Danny, they all,
Jimmy
did too. They all, kind of reached out and, on one of my hardest times, so I really appreciate it, guys. Bridget Silvestri too. So
Mark
did
Silvestri's wife, yeah.
Steven Sajak.
Is that Pat Sajak's son?
No, big time.
Oh, Sajak.
Yeah.
Top yeah. Top guy, yeah.
So I really appreciate it.
He won Artist of the Year award.
Yeah, awesome
great
work.
Think tank, awesome.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that. And
for those of you who don't know, and I'm just going to drop this at the end here. We lost a very near and dear inspiration to the Collection Connection, and that was the Tiger Dad.
Yeah.
Tiger Dad passed away yesterday morning after a long bout with cancer and diabetes.
Yeah.
So, my condolences, brother.
Yeah.
And he'll be missed.
Definitely.
So we'll take a moment of silence for the Tiger Dad. Okay, and let's wrap this up.
So, I'm Dave Tigerman Smith.
Nate the Great. Thanks for watching Collection Connection, and we really want to see the tag team battle.
Yeah.
Ortho and Snarf.
There we go.
Versus Serpentor and Kermit.
Yeah.
In a battle to the death, tag team style.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
And if we don't win, we're gonna commission this.
Yeah, if we don't win, it's gonna happen either way. So thanks for watching Collection Connection. We'll see you soon. And JNGUYE1, hopefully this satisfies your contest stipulations.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.